Lots of people move to Texas expecting a lower cost of living, but when they start looking at homes in Frisco, the real numbers can surprise them. Today, I'm breaking down the true cost of living in Frisco, Texas, including home prices, property taxes, HOA fees, and the hidden costs most buyers don't realize until after they move. Stick around and I'll break those down for you next. All right, let's start with the biggest factor when it comes to the cost of living in Frisco, and that is home prices, because this is usually where relocation buyers get their first surprise. A lot of people moving to Texas expect prices to be lower across the board, but Frisco is one of the most in-demand suburbs in the entire Dallas area, which means home prices here are higher than many people expect. Home prices here are definitely higher than the national average. If we look at the most recent 6-month period from the MLS, homes that are currently on the market in Frisco are trending in the mid to upper 700,000s for the medium price, with the average list price closer to the high 800s, mainly because we have a lot of luxury homes and new constructions that push those numbers up. But if we look at what has actually sold over the last 6 months, the numbers come down a bit. In the last 6 months, there were 979 homes sold in Frisco, with the average sold price right around $650,000. And that difference between the active price and sold price is normal, because higher priced homes tend to stay on the market longer, while homes in that 600,000 range tend to move faster. So realistically, most buyers moving to Frisco today are shopping somewhere between the mid 600s and the upper 700,000s, depending on the size of the home, the neighborhood, and whether you're looking at resale or new construction. And that's why Frisco is considered one of the more expensive suburbs in North Texas. But for many buyers, the schools, the master plan communities, and the overall quality of life make that price point worth it. Another cost a lot of buyers don't think about when moving to Frisco is homeowner association fees, also known as HOA dues, and these can really add up depending on the neighborhood. Many of the newer master plan communities in Frisco have HOA fees, and in some cases they can be pretty significant. For example, in Fields East Village, the HOA dues are right around $200 per month, which equals about $2,400 per year in homeowners association fees alone. And when you add that on top of your mortgage, property taxes, and insurance, that can definitely increase the overall cost of living in Frisco more than buyers expect. HOA fees are higher in some Frisco neighborhoods is because these communities often include amenities like resort-style pools, fitness centers, parks, walking trails, and maintain common areas, which all cost money to operate. Some older neighborhoods in Frisco may have very low HOA fees or none at all. But most of the newer developments, especially master plan communities, will have monthly or annual dues that you need to factor into your budget. So when you're comparing costs of living in Frisco versus other suburbs, HOA fees are one of the hidden costs that can make a bigger difference than people realize. Now, one of the biggest reasons people move to Texas is because there is no state income tax. But what a lot of buyers don't realize is that Texas more than makes up for that with higher property taxes. And this is where I see a lot of relocation buyers get surprised when they start looking at homes in Frisco. Here in Frisco, the total tax rate is usually somewhere around 2%. It's sometimes a little bit lower and sometimes a little bit higher, and that depends on the neighborhood and the school district that you're in. And when you apply that to a $600,000 or $700,000 home, that can make a big difference in your monthly payment. For example, in California, property taxes are usually closer to around 1%, sometimes even a little under that, depending on the area. So buyers coming from California often expect their payment to go down in Texas, but once they see the tax rate here, the monthly cost can actually be similar, and that's even if the price is lower on the home. This is why when I work with relocation buyers here in Frisco, I always tell them not just to look at the price of the home, but to look at the full monthly price, including the taxes, insurance, and HOA fees. And once we factor in those extra costs, the next thing that surprises a lot of people moving to Frisco, Texas is utilities and some of the hidden expenses that come with the newer communities. So let's talk about those next. Earlier, we discussed home prices, HOA fees, and property taxes. All of these can drastically affect affordability and home choices for you when you move to Frisco, Texas. But let's wrap up this series by identifying a few not so obvious monthly expenses to factor into your decision-making process. The first one is the tollway. The commuter costs can be crazy out here. Frisco, it lies conveniently in the corner of two major toll roads. The North Dallas Toll Road, which is the major north-south artery from Frisco to downtown Dallas, and the 121 Sam Rayburn Tollway, which is the major east-west between Frisco and DFW Airport. Many people living here in Frisco, on average, pay between $125 to $200 per month in toll fees. I know that's crazy, right? It's true. Next up is utility costs. Summers are long and hot here in Frisco, so expect your electricity bill to be moving up as well. If you're coming in from a state that doesn't have such a hot summer, then you'll notice that right off the bat, your first summer here. A lot of out-of-state buyers have never heard of mud or pit, and depending on the community that you decide to move into, you might find out that you have a municipal utility district, and that's an extra expense as well that needs to be factored in. It doesn't mean the neighborhood's bad, it just means that it's probably newer, and they use that money to pay for infrastructure and continuing to develop the neighborhood. So, newer roads, newer developments, you're gonna have higher costs. Not every neighborhood has them, but in some of the newer parts of Frisco and North Dallas, they can add an extra cost to the monthly budget. So it's something that you want to consider before you move, and you want to understand that before you decide on a neighborhood, because it can change what your total monthly payment looks like for your family. When you add all of this together, home price, property taxes, HOA dues, toll roads, insurance, and utility districts, that's when you really start to see the true cost of living in Frisco. But even with these costs, there's a reason Frisco continues to be one of the most popular places people are moving to in the entire Dallas area. So next, let's talk about why so many buyers still choose Frisco, even when the cost of living here is so much higher than many other places in DFW. So when you look at the full picture, home prices, property taxes, HOA fees, insurance, and utilities, the cost of living in Frisco can definitely be a lot higher than what people expect when they start looking at Texas. But even with that, Frisco continues to be one of the most popular places people are moving to in the entire Dallas-Fort Worth area. And the reason for that is the schools, the newer homes, the master plan communities, and the location. The amount of growth happening here is incredible. A lot of buyers are willing to pay a little more to live in an area that feels newer, safer, and close to everything. I work with relocation buyers here in Frisco every single week, and one of the biggest things I help people figure out is not just what they can afford, but which neighborhoods make the most sense based on their budget, timeline, and lifestyle. If you want to learn more about living in Frisco, Texas, make sure to check out the next video where I break down the best neighborhoods to live in right now in Frisco, Texas. Welcome home with Jason.